How can we inspire internal stakeholders to bring value to events and functions while respecting time and avoiding meeting just to meet for increased attraction and retention? Brian, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I think we all enjoy having a meeting for the sake of a meeting, right?
We don't.
Or quite yet, maybe talking about what colors the drapes are going to be on the windows. Folks, those are not engaging topics, but often dominate stated meetings and Masonic organizations. And I can assure you that if you're a serious individual, you don't have time necessarily or interest to be speaking to those areas. And so one of the challenges that we face is how do we move forward? How do we adapt to new strategies to do exactly what we're trying to do? We're respecting those that are participating and we're delivering value. And part of that is this. It's a change. And when there's a change, we have to recognize that there are people who originally created whatever that element that needs to be changed. And so what we're talking about here is emotional irrelevance, meaning that a person that created an activity, a club, a unit, a meeting, if that activity is no longer relevant, they themselves feel that they're not relevant. And so as a part of their identity, they will resist the change because they believe that change will reduce their standing and impact within that fraternal organization. So what's critical is understanding this. There's an additional step beyond just that suggestion of that idea. Whatever you're trying to change to increase attraction and retention at these meetings, you have to speak to those individuals and make that suggestion, because ultimately their initial design of whatever that event is or process or agenda line item had creativity associated with it. There was an element of entrepreneurship. Those are the same things that you're trying to do with a new idea. And so how do you position that person to make those recommendations by way of a mentor and coaching, understanding that there will be that change? And ultimately, that is how we're going to remain relevant, which is positioning that person through that element that created the success initially and understanding that our environment has changed, so we have to adapt to that. Can you help us get there? And so I think that's absolutely critical. I mean, at the end of the day, it's celebrating that, celebrating creation. And how do we celebrate that as a fraternal organization? So as we create new things, you celebrate the act of creating, not necessarily what you've done in the past.
Yeah, you know, at the membership Marcom seminar that was recently concluded, one of the speakers suggested, and I think it's a great idea, that every meeting ought to have some educational element, whether it's the Shrine or Daughters of the Nile, whatever the Masonic group is. There ought to be some 5 to 10 minute part set aside for learning and sharing ideas and thoughts. And I think that's a great idea. I would much rather learn something for a period of 5 to 10 minutes that's exciting that I didn't know than vote on, as you said, the color of the tablecloths that we're going to have at the dinner. So incorporating high quality educational elements also helps make sure that we're adding value to our meetings.